Share. Oh. 1 second. I don't know what I did there. All right, then let's talk about advertising and social media. This is the 4th set of topics. So you have 8 topics in total, and your speaking tests will start tomorrow. I likely won't get through everybody. I know I'll repeat this. You'll speak tomorrow for 4 minutes privately with me in a Zoom room. Okay. And I will give you some feedback afterwards. Okay. And I think I showed you guys. Anyway, I will show you tomorrow. Well, no, I'll show you now because I know, well, there's not enough students here really, is there? Okay, let's do the true and false, or let's do these warm-up questions. Do you know what digital well-being is? So we're talking about here, social, this part is going to be about social media. Do you know what your digital well-being is? And if you don't, can you use this word and this word to try and figure out what it is?
Like our good behavior to have it with the social media, like
Give me an
not
example.
spend too much time, don't adjusting the likes. I can imagine something like that with the well-being.
Yeah, so well-being is how well you're doing, and digital is online. So yes, digital well-being is kind of a monitoring of how much time you spend on social media these days. Do you know how to monitor it?
Like to like to follow it?
Not really. Rodrigo, were you going to say something?
Monitor is like it's like constantly checking how long you spend.
Yeah. Do you get a report on your iPhone or iPad how much time you spent weekly? That's the monitoring of your digital well-being. So, you know, for adults, I guess, you know, we all make our decision how much time we're going to spend online and what we're going to do online. But let's think about kids, okay? Do you think that parents should monitor their kids' digital well-being?
Yes, for sure, because they are so small to like spend all the time in front of a screen, so they can get problems in their eyes as well, in their behavior, because
Give me an example about the behavior.
Yeah, they need to socialize with more people. So sometimes kids just spend time in the screens and don't go out and play with other kids.
Okay. So you've mentioned quite a few things. You mentioned isolation. Social isolation is where kids spend too much time by themselves and not enough time playing with their cousins and friends and playing football and, you know, helping mom around the house and reading books and doing their homework. You mentioned health issues. Besides their eyes, there's also shoulders and back issues that come with sitting too long. And then, of course, there's what are they doing online? You know, kids can be quite innocent, but not everybody who's online is innocent. Can anyone think, can you elaborate on what I just suggested? I suggested not everybody online. Rodrigo?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It can be, I knew, I don't know if it's still happening, that some people was like doing some challenge in the internet with things that can hurt the kids, like even can make suicide the children.
Okay, make them commit suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were some challenges, like remember a couple of years ago, they were eating laundry detergent. There was a challenge where you had to eat these Tide Pods.
Really?
Yeah, it was 3 or 4 years ago. So a Tide Pod is one of those little balls of laundry detergent. And there was a challenge to eat it.
Yes, I've
And
seen ones that they have to eat a spoon of how's the name?
eat a spoon,
Cinnamon.
eat a teaspoon, eat a spoonful of cinnamon.
Yes.
I mean, actually eat a spoon. Nothing would surprise me anymore, you know. I don't know about the cinnamon, but yeah, there are challenges. Magdalena, can you elaborate on other things when I talk about people not being as innocent?
Yeah, there's some people in the internet
Pervs.
that may try to like seduce children to have a relationship, or I don't know, other adult stuff.
Right. Okay. So they ask them to send photos. First of all, it's innocent,
pictures. Yeah,
just innocent. Then it's, can you show me a picture of your,
yeah,
take
yeah,
your
body
top off.
parts.
Body part, yeah, that's, you're much more eloquent than I am. Thank you, body parts. Yeah. So yeah, and also they try to steal money.
Yeah.
And kids might, just not realize why that's a bad thing. So yeah, there are a lot of really bad dudes and chickies on the internet, but I think it tends to be more men. They tend to they are often part of gangs of people. Do you know the term for when somebody says to you, let's be friends on Facebook or friends on social media, and then they try and have a relationship with you, and then they start asking for money? Do you know what that term is called?
Catfish.
Catfishing.
Mm.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
problem these days, catfishing. The more of this you know about, the better you can do on your exam, by the way. So what about parents? Is it a good idea to monitor? Rodrigo, you have kids. Do you monitor your kids?
No, I don't have kids.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
don't-
Oh, wait,
Not
okay,
yet.
that's my other Rodrigo. Not yet. Okay. That's my other Rodrigo, right? Okay. And none of you have kids, right?
No.
Okay. So should parents check?
I think they should. There's a lot of risk on the internet. And also because of the digital well-being, as we were talking.
Right.
You were talking.
Should parents not only monitor but like set limits, maybe 1 hour, because you can do that. Parents have control.
Yeah, I have nephews,
Right.
and my brother, their dad, set them an internet and PlayStation limit to 2 hours per weekend, I guess, so they can they still focus on their activities, like their homework, their studies, the reading, and not being all day on the TV.
Right. Okay. It's not only with phones these days, it's also with like PlayStations and these kinds of
Screens in general.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's look at some vocabulary we'll start off. I know we spoke about social media and we'll come back to that. You will be, some of you, at least 2 of you will be speaking about this topic, advertising, when you do your test with me. So, and very common topic in the actual IELTS exam, both in the speaking and in the writing. And you also might get something in your reading about this. Okay. So an advertisement or an advertisement, both pronounced okay. Or you can call it an advert or you can call it an ad. It's all the same thing. And it's just trying to get somebody to buy something. So it might be a song, it might be a picture, it could be a short video. A commercial, we all know those, that 30-second break. Commercial break is a time when you guys maybe don't watch TV, but older people do. So you would have like 2.5 minutes, the positive thing about this, it gave you time to get up and, go to the washroom or get a snack or something like that, and you don't miss anything. A jingle is a short song that's played and people get to know them. Can you think of any popular jingles?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
There you go. Da-da-da-da-da. I can't think of it. What is it?
McDonald's.
Oh, jeez, of course. Yeah. That's a jingle. Yeah. A slogan is, like just do it from Nike. That would be a slogan. A product placement is how they advertise something in, like if you watch Friends, TV show Friends, you often saw them drink a Corona beer. That's product placement. So Corona would pay them to have a Corona in their hand. Okay. A pop-up, we all know these are little ads. Telemarketing, when they call you on the phone and trying to sell you something. So tele from telephone. Billboard, those huge, usually out by the airport, big things up in the, shop at this shop, or, for hotels, for restaurants. We'll talk about billboards a bit later. A flyer is a piece of paper, maybe comes in your mail or on your car, or somebody tries to give you one when you're downtown. Celebrity endorsement. We had that video the other day where the lady was speaking about celebrity endorsements. Messi now is it Messi and Ronaldo are now officially in Saudi. Guess what? I told the students that was going to happen. They went, no way. Well, there you go. It's when they pay them a lot of money to promote the products. And there's one guy, and I can't think of his name, and he was promoting Coca-Cola. He's Latin American. He was promoting Coke. And then when they interviewed him, he said, oh, I don't drink Coke. Coke's bad for you. So he lost his endorsement.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Was it Ronaldo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the best way to do it.
Yeah. And then he said, drink water.
Drink water is healthier. Yeah. Well, at least the second part was honest. He got paid for the first part and he was honest about the second. Word of mouth, where you tell your friends, hey, you got to try this. It's great. I really like it. Brand loyalty. A lot of people have that. Your phones. How many people use iPhones? Yeah. Would you switch, or is your next phone going to be iPhone?
I would like to switch.
So you don't have brand loyalty.
No, I don't.
Rodrigo.
Or maybe I have, but with Samsung, because before to have my iPhone, I had Samsung, and switch had been hard for me. So I want to return.
Good. Okay. So you have brand loyalty to Samsung. And I did have an iPhone for 3 days. I'm a Samsung person. I tried iPhone. It just wasn't for me. I'm saying to you. Rodrigo, your next phone, will it be another iPhone?
Yes, yeah. I in my idea, I don't like to change of operative systems, because iPhone, Android are kind of annoying. With it has a lot of notifications, and that's why I start to use only Mac products.
I've never gotten notifications on my Android.
Me
Brand
neither.
what?
Me
You
neither.
did? No.
Because
Brand aware.
you already got used to.
That's right. Maybe that's right. We got used to it. Brand
Could be.
awareness, how much you know about a brand, and target audience. When a pop-up or an ad or a billboard or whatever, a flyer or a jingle, they are actually made to attract a certain part of the population, young people. And we'll talk about that, about advertising to kids a little bit later. Okay. It's my favorite part where I don't have to talk anymore. Rodrigo, do you remember any adverts you saw when you were younger?
I think that there was a lot, because when I was kid, in Open TV, they give us like anime and cartoons for everyone, and they got a lot of ads like related with the toys and pops and food as well. Like I remember that it was like Thundercats figures. Then you can buy in the store. That's why
Okay,
I was watching the cartoons.
right. Okay, so you were younger and you're watching cartoons, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Hold that thought. What kind of ads were coming up while you were watching cartoons? Well, that would be the target audience. Okay. By the way, this is a billboard, just in case, you know, these are called billboards. They're massive. Romy, do you often buy things after seeing an advert?
No, not because I think if you buy something after seeing an advert, you're buying something because it's popular and maybe you don't need it too much.
Okay. Where do people like, so TV is not very popular now. And a lot of young people just don't have a TV. And I know when I ask in the IELTS exams, there's questions about TVs and they just don't. So it makes it a little bit awkward. So I kind of have to change my questions around. If since TV is gone, where are people advertising these days?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay, where else?
Social media. in general.
Social media. Give me, probably if I asked you, let's exclude YouTube, but if I talked about the other forms of social media, which would be the most popular one to, if I wanted to sell dresses that I make or cookies that I make, where should I go?
Instagram or TikTok, I guess.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Rodrigo, do you like it when celebrities advertise products?
Sure, everyone has to make a living or something, so they got the business, and for me, it's okay. I don't get mad if they are advertising products for people, and I just don't follow them. So if I want to buy something, I try to make a good search and find prices and good prices.
And now if there was a man there and he was selling shoes and Messi was selling shoes, who would you prefer to try if you decided, who could persuade you more? Would it be the man or would it be Messi?
I think it will be Ronaldo.
That's not even an option.
I
All
like it better.
right. Okay. So do you think that these celebrity advertisements work? Do you think that products are sold
it
more?
works for fans. So
Right.
and for kids because they are like I don't know, a big figure for them. So for me as a grown man, I like these guys. I like the routine that they have and how they influence to the kids, but I'm not a big fan of them. I just like football,
Oh, yeah,
so
okay.
it doesn't gonna impact my next purchases.
Gotcha. Okay. Matthias, what are some various places where we see advertisements? Matthias, you with us? Okay, Romy.
Maybe when we walk in the streets, we can see like posters in there, also in social media, of course, and
Mhm.
yeah, that I think.
Okay. TV, if you watch it. If you wanted a cheaper Netflix, you can apparently take a Netflix with with ads now. They have ads, commercials running. If you're watching a series and it's really good and you're like, and then an ad chops in. So we see them in malls. We see them by on the street, as Romy mentioned, by the airports. What are pop-up blockers, Angie?
Okay, so some web page have a configuration with pop-ups page. So there are some blockers that doesn't allow to like go inside that pop-up.
Right, okay. Do you think pop-ups are annoying?
For me, are not. Yeah,
Anyone think? Sorry, go ahead, Emily.
sometimes they give you good information. So, because nowadays the internet, it's configured to follow your preference. So if you, whatever, you are thinking to buy a mattress and you put like mattress in some social media, web search or whatever, they're going to start to advertise a mattress for you. So can be a help, sometimes can be annoying, but sometimes can be a help.
Yes. Do you notice sometimes you can just say something to somebody and next thing an ad comes on your phone?
Yeah, I noticed that here in Canada. In Colombia, it's not like that. The market is not that strong. But here, even if you are talking with someone, then they are going to show you.
The next thing you open your phone, there's an ad for mattresses. You're like, what? That's kind of creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Okay. Magdalena, if you had a choice, would you like to see more ads or fewer ads?
Oh, fewer. Absolutely. I consider ads very annoying, in fact. I'm not a person who it's influences very much by the advertisement. I just buy what I need. So yeah, in fact, if I can pay for not seeing ads, I would.
Okay, that's why my Netflix is $24 a month because I don't want to see ads.
Yeah.
Let's
Also mine.
see. Yeah. And Angie, what about commercials? If you're watching TV or watching something, when a commercial comes on, what do? Do you change a channel or?
Yeah, I will change the challenge or do something else while the commercial is on the TV, like look at my phone. Yeah, like use that time doing other things.
Okay. The strongest thing is mute. That mute button is wonderful. Okay, so there's different ways to advertise. What would be an advantage of advertising on TV?
I think the big advantage that it doesn't appear all of a sudden, so you know when the ad is gonna come. It's gonna come. So, for instance, if you are watching YouTube, you can predict when the ad is gonna appear unless you are paying a subscription.
Okay, all right. Any other advantages?
I think in the Helene, you can hear me?
I can. Morning.
Perfect. Morning. Hello. For the part I work in marketing, so in that part, I think like the advantage of TV is like a lot of people have access to TV. So if you like to like publicity some new product, you know how many people look that advertising. So it's easy to follow the information and the insight that the TV can give you.
That's absolutely right. One, you can monitor how many people are seeing it. That's something, yeah. Another thing is it reaches a wide target audience. It reaches a wide audience. It could be all ages, all geographic regions, depending on where you're putting it. Like so it is that way. Disadvantage?
Sorry, one question about this topic, but is it very wide nowadays?
Well, it still is. Well, that would be one of the disadvantages, that the market is now lower. I kind of think it is. I mean, think about in a home, the parents probably have TV on, right? That you guys don't. You're the generation, the Gen Zs, who are not watching TV, but your parents are, right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and if you're in the house with your parents, you also see the commercials. So they are still reaching, it is growing, it's diminishing because as you guys are getting, so you guys now are almost ready to get married and have kids, you're not going to have a TV. You might have a TV in a den or something for a movie or something, but it won't be the focal point in the living room like it is in my house. My husband, it's a 65 or 70-inch TV. I hate it. It's huge. It's just a big black thing on the wall, you know? And there was one behind me too, but fortunately there was a problem with it and we got a refund. And I managed not to get another one yet. And the one was 65, one was 70. Like, why? And I mean, you know, I don't know. It's a generational thing. But another disadvantage, it's very expensive. That's a thing. So, and I know that they're not, so they're changing now to like YouTube and Instagram. What about flyers? Any advantage? Romy?
Maybe the flyers give more information.
Maybe they're cheaper. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay, just hang on. Romy, just finish and I'll come back to you, Magdalena.
Yeah, I think the flyers maybe give more information about the product, and that's one of the advantages.
Okay, and they put them in your hand when you're in the area, right? So if you look at it, you might think this could persuade me to at least look. Okay, they are cheaper. Disadvantages, I don't know, like, let's not even spend any more time. Let's move on to this. I want to spend my time speaking. Okay, let's talk. Okay, now we're into social media, and there's a lot more vocabulary for social media. I have a list. I don't like teaching lists. Like, I don't mind this, but I do have a larger list for some of the topics we've covered. Maybe I'll put it together later and give it to you guys. Maybe today. Anyway, so vocabulary for social media: follower, troll. What's a troll? These are those bad people here, right? Who, you know, you're fat or you're ugly or something, or, you know, tell people, let's follow her and make her feel bad or make him feel bad. Viral, something that moves very quickly. A vlogger is someone who makes video, like a blogger, but makes videos. An influencer, I know you know this. Filter. A lot of people are using filters for their face now to look younger or whatever. Scam, everybody knows scam. Photoshop, to change an image to make it look better. Scroll just means to go, you know, move down. Meme. A student told me 2 terms ago, he said, it'd be 3 months ago, because I was teaching this, and he said, Miss, it's pronounced Mimi. I went, really? I said, I didn't know that. I've always said meme. Anyway, I found out he was pulling my leg. And I actually went to my next class and I would say, Mimi. And the student said, Miss, it's meme. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I also thought it was meme.
It is meme. He was pulling my leg, means he was joking. And I believed him. He said, Miss, no, it's Mimi. Maybe he's wrong. I don't know. But my next class, I go, no, Miss, it's meme. It's just something that spreads very quickly. And a sponsored post is something that's paid for. And I'll just tell you very briefly, I was teaching and I had a student who did the IELTS exam, and in her first try, she got band 7. And she put, she made a TikTok video, and I knew nothing about it. So she made a TikTok video about her IELTS experience with me, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. So one evening we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I had, I think, 25 followers or something, or maybe 70 followers on Instagram. And I got, someone wants to follow you. Someone wants to follow. It kept going bing, bing, bing. And I said to my husband, what's going on? And then I started getting messages. I want you to teach me IELTS. I want you to teach me IELTS. I saw you on the TikTok. You're on the TikTok. And I still didn't know what it was. And she told me the next day, I'll show you the video. It's very short. And it's in Arabic. But it went viral. And the last time I saw it, now this is my copy, but the copy that she put, The last time I saw the count, it was 185,000 people had seen a video of me. Let me just go here.
Wow.
I know I was an influencer. I do post when students pass and stuff like that. So let me, give you the music because it has music and everything. Where is it?
Elaine, I don't know, it's only me, but only
Yeah, we're watching.
now.
Yeah.
I'll just play sort of play through once. So on mine it had 2,000 views, but on hers again it was 184,000 views. And my boss in Saudi was like, "Give me that, I want that." Like I think even Canaway has this copy. So yeah, it was kind of cool at the time. I'm too busy now. I still put some things on there, but yeah, I was just like a social media influencer, or was I she got paid for that, I think. I think if you get 100,000, you get some money or something like
Yeah,
that.
some cases.
I didn't get any. All right. Okay, let's start here and let's go to Romy. Do you use social networking sites? And if you do, which ones?
Yeah, I use Instagram most of the times and TikTok, but I don't let too much time.
Okay. Romy, can you ask anybody in the class question number 2, please?
Okay. Angie, what kind of people do you like to be friends with on social media or social networking sites?
Okay, so actually for being friends, just my friends that I have in real life, I don't look at friends in the social media. I just follow my real friends. But for people that I know and I follow, it's because they are giving me some information that I'm interested in. For example, the last couple months, I have been following people who teach how to cook, who has new recipes, information about food. So that's getting useful for me. So that's why I'm follow that kind of people.
A social networking is different than social media, I think. Not like, no, it's okay. Your answer is absolutely correct, but I just wanted to distinguish that. What's it called? LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a social networking where you try and meet up with people who have similar interests or similar jobs. I don't know if any of you are on LinkedIn, but
I have. However, I don't use, like, for me, it's difficult to do a networking through the media.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I think it's still popular, but not, because of TikTok and Instagram and what's the other one? Snapchat. They've kind of taken away, but for professionals, like when you maybe get in, if you're an engineer, there's a lot of engineering groups there that you can network with. And it's, a lot of people use it to find jobs and things like that. Okay. Excellent. Angie, want to ask question number 3, please? Just excuse me, guys,
sure.
go to 3 and 4, if you don't mind. I'll just be right back, okay?
Yeah. So my question will be for Rodrigo. Do you ever begin your day by checking your social media?
My entire day or just a part of it?
I think that all the day.
No, I actually have a social media. I check my LinkedIn because I'm trying to find a job here. And I also have, I'm using more Instagram instead of Facebook because Facebook is kind of, it's getting old. So I'm using more Instagram instead of Facebook to communicate with my friends and family. And yeah, I check on the daily my social media apps.
I think that you have to do the next question for someone else.
Leticia Ramos, do you think it's easy to get addicted to social media?
Yeah, I think it's easy because we have the cell phone all the time. So we can watch in every moment of our life. Like if we are bored, we take the cell phone and only like sweep in TikTok a lot of video and share. So I think it's very addict and we spend a lot of time too. Mm, um, 5. Matias, do you follow any influencer of social media? Why or why not?
You hear me?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Yes, I do. I think that it's very common to follow influencers on social media, and I I follow them because I like the content that they create, like about movies, books, video games. It's very entertaining, I think, and it's maybe a way to just try to have a break and they watch their videos on social media. Um,
You guys talking?
yeah.
Keep going. When I, even if I leave first, I don't often leave, but sometimes I have to. Yeah, if you finish a question, just go to the next question. So who answered this one? Who answered, do you begin your day?
Me,
Rodrigo, you want to ask someone? Did you ask anybody this question?
yes.
Okay, I'm addicted to coffee, actually. That's why I had to go, because there's no way I could go an hour without coffee. So, okay, Rodrigo, who did you ask, Rodrigo? Was it Matthias?
Leticia.
Okay, Leticia. Leticia, have you asked anyone this one?
No, I asked the 5 to Matias. And
Oh,
Matias
okay.
answered, so now Matias have the chance to
Oh,
ask.
do you know any? Let's pass that question. Matthias, you want to ask somebody this question?
No.
You have to.
Mm,
Do you want to? Is kind of my nice way of saying, please ask somebody that question.
yeah. Maybe I think that everyone has answered the
It's
question.
okay.
So,
Keep going. There's more questions coming.
Romy, have you ever created a post, video, or meme that went viral?
No, I haven't. I think I never post anything on my social media, so no.
Has anyone ever done this? No. Okay. Okay, Romy, you can ask the last question to anyone you choose.
Okay, Magdalena, do you ever purchase products you have learned about from sponsor posts?
Not that I remember. I have a recent purchase from an Instagram post, but it was a product that I was searching for like weeks ago, and this, I saw it on Instagram. It was like, oh wow, that's what I need. But it's not usual.
Okay. All right. So are this the last two? Okay, so you're going to go into breakout rooms now. There are 2 sets of slides. By the way, enjoy the breakout rooms, because after the speaking, you're going to end up with just me for the next 3 skills, going like this. This is your chance to chat to people, to interact. So what would you prefer? Would you prefer 2 people? I want you to chat like it this way. Okay. So I was in rooms last night and I noticed they were very structured. There was, this person, they do it as I do it. One person asked second, but I said, and I was listening and it was so formal. And I said, just have a chat. Just like, so Magdalena would make a comment and then maybe Matthias would say something else about it. And it became, I said, I want you to pretend you're sitting at a table in a canteen and you're having a conversation. And there's three people, it wouldn't be, I ask you, you ask me, like, it wouldn't be like that. And then, so I clicked out of the room and I was in other rooms. When I came back, they were laughing and having the best chat on the topic. So that's what I want you to do. So I put 3 in each room and I want you to have a chat, because that's what part 3 of the exam is. It is a chat. Actually, I'd like to play a video for you first. I know he's an 8, but I still want you to hear. I want you to listen to the fluency, which is, the ability to continue speaking without pausing, and listen to the cohesive devices that she uses. Actually, sorry, let me pause this, because this is what your exam, this is part 3 and is what your exam is going to be starting tomorrow. Listen to the vocabulary she uses, listen to the grammar, she's making mistakes, and listen to her pronunciation. Now I know band 8's not that hard to get, actually. But I'm teaching you guys to band 6.57, so we always look at videos that are a little bit higher. There's no sense giving you videos there. Okay, so let me share the screen. It's 4 to 5 minutes. It's 4 minutes and 55 seconds. So the question was, what was the question? We have been talking about, I can't remember now. And I just watched this morning. Oh, a well-known person you admire. And I do bring that topic up a lot, is when because people say to me, what does that mean? Admire, it means someone you look up to. Okay, so let me share the sound. I did that, okay. Let me share.
Person who you like or admire, and I'd like to discuss with you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this. Let's consider, first of all, being in the public eye. Famous people are watched by everybody. What are the advantages and disadvantages of that?
Okay, the advantages is that a lot of people watching you, so you become famous, and there are a lot of things which you can do correctly and politically right, because there is media watching you, and you can go ahead and pass the message to the media in a right way. The disadvantage is that you have to be diplomatically correct. At times, if there are certain things which are incorrect, still you have to go ahead and do that, which doesn't make sense, because there are a lot of political leaders, they are into corruption back in India, and at times, there are some things which are wrong, but they have to do it.
Why do they have to do it?
Because there's a lot of political pressure, and if they don't do it, the political party would not support them, and in the end, they have to resign.
Do you think the media plays a role in that? What is the media's approach to reporting what famous people do?
Well, media plays an important role. At times, media will actually show things which are not correct, or if you see it, it looks like, yeah, he's wrong, but that's not the case. So media plays a very important role. They portray in a wrong manner at times, and sometimes they do portray in a right manner.
Can anything be done about that, do you think?
Not really, because in today's world, what has happened is everything is communicated by media, television, news, internet. So you just have to go ahead and probably call the media and do a meeting and answer questions to the public and give justification and reasons.
Very often the media reports on the most trivial things in important issues, but people are fascinated by those things. Why are people fascinated by?
Because these days people like to listen to gossip and trivial things. They're not interested in the bigger part what's happening. They have a simple life. They would like to live it their way. They are not bothered what is happening within the country. There are only few people you see are really interested in knowing about the country and, you know, getting all the information and reacting.
Let's go on and talk about this celebrity culture. How are famous people used by advertisers nowadays?
Famous people are really used for advertising because one, they can promote the product, and two, there are a lot of fans, they're fans. So obviously if they are using that product, what will happen is those fans will actually use that product, and of course it's a money-making business. I mean, if Mahatma Gandhi wore a watch of Swash, I would wear it. Yeah, I would wear it. I was like, oh, he wore it, I'll wear it.
The use of famous people in advertising and other things, do you think that has a negative effect, especially on young people?
At times, yes. There are some of the advertisements which are not meant or not, you know, they are offensive to younger generations. So at times, yes.
Do you think that famous people can influence public opinion beyond just selling things? They can make people vote differently or believe?
Yes, they can. They influence a lot of people today. Even cricketers or any kind of famous personality, they influence the public, you know, to do things.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm fine with that as long as, I mean, at times I do like, but then at times I don't like, so I don't bother much.
All right. Well, thanks, Kush. That's the end of the speaking test.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's what you're in for when you do your speaking test. It will be very similar to that. Notice the topic was specific to what we've covered. Notice she said before almost every sentence. It was an She said tings, product, ver, like she was having grammar mistakes, fluency issues, but that's an 8. So you have to think to yourself, how do I compare? Am I really low? Or am I all, you know, you guys got to think, if you use the vocabulary in the slides, there's 8 slides and you're going to get one of the topics, you will get your vocabulary score high. It's the fluency I always worry about. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? So that's how your test will be coming up. Let me just go over a couple of the ideas here. Will advertising change in the future? Do you think advertising targeting children are ethical? Means I want you to think about that one. I don't want to give you the answers. I want you to be prepared for what I might ask you. Ethical means, you know, it's proper to do that. In other words, should they advertising cereal to children? Cool. Advertising iPads during cartoons. So Rodrigo was talking about when he was a kid watching cartoons. So kind of what should they advertise? The best commercial you've ever seen. That could be on, it doesn't have to be on TV. It could be anything, any Instagram or anything. Why are there so many advertisements now? Do you think billboards should blend in with the surroundings? So some people don't like billboards. They think it takes away from the scene, the nature. And if there were no commercials on TV or social media, I'd like to add or social media to this one. Social media popular in your country? Is it easy to find real friends? At what age should children start using? Will people use social media more or less in the future? Why do you think bullying has become so widespread? Is using Photoshop and filters creating a problem? Some people don't use social media. This is a recent question, by the way, on the IELTS exam. Some people are not, and also TV. People are choosing not to watch TV. People are choosing not to use social media. Why? or people are shutting down their social media. Why? And what about negative body image from watching from these skinny influencers? All right, so we've lost someone. Who did I lose? I lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Letitia's at work. So I'll put 3 in one group and 2 in the other group and just have a chat. Okay. So you'll need to open your questions, at least one person in each group, and whoever has their questions open can share their screen. Again, I want you to have a chat. I don't want to be the way I do it. Breakout rooms. Okay. Go ahead. Again, I will pop in quietly. It's my audio and video off. Angie and Romy, can you, okay, Romy, can you see the invite? There you go. Hi. Let's wait for everyone to come back. We'll do a little bit of revision of the topics that we've covered. And I'll just ask you, okay, so everyone's back. Excellent. Okay. So, all right. Let's think about yesterday's class. We were talking about criminals, crime and punishment yesterday. And we talked a little bit about why people, you know, if somebody did a crime, you know, there's the kind of crimes that are not serious, like trespassing or, well, pickpocketing. Some people say it's not serious. I kind of think it is because they can get your identity, you know, or marking graffiti on the walls. But then you have your more serious crimes, which like rape, murder. They're really serious. Then you have your middle crimes, which would, to me, is like pickpocketing, mugging, and things like that. And when people get found guilty, they, you know, get convicted and they go to prison. And it could be for 1 year, or let's think about the middle ones, 1 year or 2 or 3 years. And then they come out and they reoffend. They do it again. Why do you think that is? Why do people who've done time in prison come out and do something else again?
Jenny said yesterday, I think it could be because sometimes in prison, people like learn how to be worse. I don't know.
That's right. There's a bad influence in there from other
Very
criminals.
bad influence. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What
And
other
because of failure of the rehabilitation programs.
That's a really good point. So the rehabilitation programs don't work. How could you make them work? What kind of rehabilitation programs would work? What should they do when they're in there?
Cutting their hands.
Sorry, what was that, Rodrigo?
No, I was a joke. I was joking.
What was the joke though?
I said cut their hands.
Ah, yeah, cut their hands.
And it will work.
That'll work. Yeah, yeah.
No,
Okay.
I think that the rehabilitation programs should be focusing, gave them capabilities.
Like what? For instance, for example?
For example, if it's a woman prison, like how to cook, how to cut the hair, how to maybe sweating.
Sewing, S-E-W?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
or knitting.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think that people has standards of life that they're gonna accomplish taking jobs like minimum wage jobs. So they start to make those kind of things because they want to make good money in quick time. So that's why then when they came out of jail, they start to doing the same, because if they trying to find a job, like I think, like I don't know, like a supermarket job or Tim Hortons job, McDonald's or whatever, that
Minimum wage job.
it's minimum wage, they gonna fit that standard that they had before.
You're absolutely right. So I think programs like let them study. Let them do courses, you know, whether it's courses on how to be a plumber or that kind of thing, or let them do study to get higher education, offer them these kind of programs that you mentioned about, like, you know, cooking and sewing. But you're right. So
yeah,
go ahead, Magdalena.
No, sorry. I was gonna say that basically it's like teaching them ways to be able to survive and being able to feel proud of themselves.
You're right. Absolutely. You know, some people just don't care. Some people are just bad, right?
Yeah.
Just bad.
Yeah.
And it mightn't be that they're bad, but the environment they grew up in was bad, which caused them to be bad. It could be family members. And some people are just bad. They have black hearts, you know, they're just bad dudes. But a lot of people, I'm sure, would not prefer to be in prison. There is some part of the population who would prefer to be in prison, actually, because they get 3 meals a day and a warm bed. So you'll notice a lot of the like people that are homeless want to get arrested because it's better than sleeping on the street. So those are just some ideas. I'll briefly go over some things you might want to consider before your speaking test tomorrow. Advertising, think about how we're influenced by ads. Think about false advertising. Think about attitudes to advertising, and it could be by, you know, celebrity versus non-celebrity, or it could be older people, younger people. And social media. Why is it so popular? Are there negative impacts? And then there are a lot of problems on the internet. Who is responsible for fixing, like, the scamming and the bad people and the catfishing? Is, you know, is it the media companies themselves, or should government come in and try and set limits? Or, you know, does government have the responsibility to control social media companies? Then we get into like ideas of, you know, freedom of speech, that kind of thing. Okay? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Some of you are getting these questions. Let's see. Think about weather in your area, in your country. So it could be like geographically your city, or it could be your country. And then think about how weather affects people, and think about climate in a country. The climate is the temperature over a long period of time. So for Angie, it's always cool where she lives. Some people it's hot and dry. So try and think of like homes where Angie lives. Would a home be different where Angie lives than someone who lives on a beach? So, you know, how the infrastructure of a city is affected by the climate. Okay. The environment, you got to know about global warming, you know, what the causes are, who's responsible for it. Is it only the government? Is it individuals? How can we, you know, what can be done to fight it globally? And thinking about awareness of climate change. You know, you guys know it, but my generation doesn't. I do, but a lot of people my age don't. They don't know, and they don't really care. Think about your kids and who's going to be impacted the most. Is it you, or is it going to be your grandkids? And what's going to happen when your grandkids are growing up? Crime. Why do people turn to crime? Think about crime in your country. Think about how social media and video games can influence people towards criminal activities. And let's think about how to stop or lower crime. You know, we talked about surveillance cameras and that kind of thing. And are there other methods of technology that can be used, you know, like digital fingerprints, a lot of things with DNA now that they're using. Big topics, but you know, that's what IELTS is. Punishment. Think about the death penalty. Should everybody go to jail, or should there be other alternatives for people? And then think about in your town, the safety level that you have now and what could be done to increase safety for citizens. And that's it. Any questions? So that was a revision for your test starting tomorrow. By the way, the test will be one-on-one in a breakout room with me. We'll start the reading tomorrow. I'll show you a reading sample from an IELTS exam. I'll show you strategies. And then I will ask one of the students to take over and share their screen and, you know, work on it together as a team. And as you do, I'll be taking you one by one into a Zoom room, doing your test and letting you out, okay? And it's first come, first serve. You want to get it over with. So whoever's in first in class tomorrow, I'll ask them, do you want to go first? whoever second. You don't have to. I won't get you all finished. It'll probably be half tomorrow, half on Monday. All right. Any questions?
Not at all.
Nothing? All right, cool. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.